Welcome back to the Activist Training Lab video course. In this video, we'll be covering advanced power mapping. If you have not watched our video on basic power mapping, I'd encourage you to go back and do that first. You can find the link in the caption to this video. In basic power mapping, we learned how to fill out a power map that looks like this, a few concentric circles, and we also filled out a sample power map for target Jojo Smith, a city council member. But here is an important question. What do you do if your target is not a single individual, but actually a group of people, like a 9-person city council, or a board of trustees with 50 members, or a corporation that has hundreds of high-ranking employees? Today, I am going to walk you through some advanced power mapping techniques that you can use in situations just like that. So here I've got a graph, and on the x-axis it has agrees with me on the issue at one end and against me on the issue on the other end. And on the y-axis, this graph has very powerful on one end and not very powerful on the other end. So let's say I want my city council to pass a bill, and my city council has 7 members. So it's not an individual, it is a group of people. Let's say I know that council members 1 and 2 will definitely vote yes, so they're going on the agree with me end of the graph. Council members 3, 4, and 5, I'm pretty sure will vote no, so they're going on the other side against me on the issue. Finally, council members 6 and 7 aren't sure how they'll vote, and additionally, council member 7 is the council president, so I'm going to say that she has a little extra power. Also, council member 5 has been on the council the longest, so I'm going to give him just a little boost too. Just for fun, let's also say an election is coming up and council member 4 is facing a challenger in a close race, and that challenger would probably vote yes if they were elected. So here's a C for challenger, and that's that for my graph. Now I can use this graph to analyze the terrain and figure out which of these council members to actually focus my time and energy on targeting. I don't have the time, resources, or energy to target the entire city council, but that's okay because I only need 4 council members to vote yes to pass the bill. So what I can do is one of 2 things. I either need to shift some council members along the x-axis so they become more supportive of my issue, or I need to give people who already support my issue more power, shifting them up on the y-axis. And I can see on this particular graph that I'm looking at some interesting options here. I'm probably not going to spend time on council members 1 and 2 since they already agree with me, or 3, 4, and 5 since they're against me and it would take a lot of organizing to change their minds. But it does make sense to focus on targeting 6 and 7 and shifting their stance so that they agree to vote yes on the bill. That would get me my 4 votes. If I decide to go this route, I would probably fill out basic detailed power maps for just members 6 and 7 and then focus my campaign on them from there. I could also go a different route and try to get the challenger elected, giving him more power and replacing one of the no votes, council member 4, with a yes vote on the council from the challenger, and maybe picking either 6 or 7 to target. So getting the challenger elected for one of my necessary votes and focusing on 6 or 7 for the other. If I had a lot of time and resources, I could also try to do all 3 things. Target council member 6, target council member 7, and get the challenger elected. But that would take a lot of resources. Just so you know, you don't have to use an advanced power map to do this process for an entire group of targets like a city council, board of trustees, many members of a corporation. You can use a basic power map to map out the motivations of a group. And I'm actually going to tell you a true story from my own past to show you how this might work. When I was in college, my university was essentially funding climate change by investing millions of dollars from the endowment in coal, oil, and gas. I was a part of a group of students using grassroots organizing to push the university to divest this money from fossil fuels and reinvest it in green energy. And for our campaign, our target was the university's Board of Trustees since they controlled the endowment money. The problem was that there were 55 trustees on the board, and it was really hard to get information about any of them, so we had no way to narrow down our focus to just 1 or 2 of them. We knew we had to target them all. So what we did is we made a basic power map for the entire Board of Trustees. We knew that all of them were motivated by some things in common, like protecting the university's reputation, the university's ability to attract new students, attracting donors, the opinions of famous alumni. And we also included on our Power Map demographic information about the trustees and information about their backgrounds. For example, there were a lot of lawyers, doctors, and business owners on the board. And we used this Power Map for our campaign. It's usually best if you can focus on a specific individual target, for example, one or two city council members instead of a whole city council, one congressman instead of the entire Congress, or one leader at a corporation or agency instead of the whole entity. But as my story illustrates, you can make a power map for an entire group of people if you need to. I hope you enjoyed advanced power mapping. Our next video will be campaign strategy, where we'll talk about how to turn your power map into a plan. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel or visit our website for more Activist Training Lab content. See you next time.